The following podcast contains adult language, graphic descriptions, dark humor, and themes intended for mature audiences only. Listener's discretion is advised. We are today going to talk about Neil Entwistle.
Should we not introduce what we are?
Oh.
Well done, Jo. You're fired. She's really good at her job.
Okay, so let's introduce. You are Dale. I am Jo. And you're Lucy.
And this is Effed Up Cases.
Yeah.
We're all weirdly obsessed with effed up stuff and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought, this is clearly a professional introduction. Where's he from?
He is from UK.
Well, what's his heritage? Entwistle isn't exactly a classic Yorkshire name, is it?
Exactly. That's the whole time I thought it was Whistle.
Entwistle.
Yeah.
Entwistle.
No, I didn't do that search.
Well, you want to know where he comes from.
Okay.
He's from Newcastle.
Okay.
Stop reading ahead, Dale.
No, he's not. He's not from Newcastle.
I'm joking.
Oh, sorry. That was a really subtle joke. It went straight over my head.
I will say
be professional.
Well, I think he's originally from Worcester.
Workshop.
Yeah, Worcester.
She was like a rock at the bar. That's not England. Anyway, getting back. Until they sell.
Neil Entwistle met Rachel Souza in University of York. She's an American who was studying abroad. They got
Hold on. Basically.
One sentence. You managed one sentence before.
What's your question?
No. I have notes along all these sentences. So she was 27 years old, very bubbly, outgoing, very positive. Just basically very American. I was also going to mention, remember someone from the market said, Americans are very happy and chirpy all the time, so that he just can't trust them.
Who said that?
I know, I want to know.
It's kind of a compliment, though, isn't it?
I'd rather be happy than...
Yeah.
Who
Yeah, but
was
they're happy all the time. It wasn't Sue.
Just to say, we're nearly 6 minutes in and we've read one sentence.
Okay, yeah, so basically we know that he met
she's
Rachel.
American, but Souza is Brazilian. Have you researched this?
Wow, we know nothing up until the point that they get together. We know nothing of their backstories. We're not going to relate to these people.
Souza.
We don't care who lives or dies in this story, quite frankly.
Okay, so keep reading from the beginning again, please.
What? No.
Oh, really? From the beginning? The whole one sentence?
That's
Neil Entwistle met Rachel Souza in York University. She's an American who was studying abroad.
Yeah.
They got married on August 23rd of 2003 and lived in Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. They had a daughter, Lillian, on April 2005. He worked in computing. His wife was a teacher of English, drama and theatre studies. They emigrated to US and stayed with Rachel's parents in Carver, Massachusetts, until they found a house of their own in Hopkinton to rent.
Okay. He worked in computing. He was IT expert and computer programmer. And when they found their house, finally, to rent, the place he chose was a luxury colonial 5-bedroom house.
Ooh, that's a bit fancy.
Yeah, it was $1,500 a month.
I love that Joe clarifies, not cheap. Just in case there's any quibbles on that matter.
Yeah, not cheap.
Not cheap. Okay, so they have just moved in. They'd only been there for 10 days. And the bodies of the mother and a baby were found in the master bedroom. Rachel, the mother, was shot in the head. The bullets were so small that it went undetected until the autopsy. So they just thought she had a bunch of holes in her head.
What was that, a pig?
She had moths in her brain or something.
It was a spud gun.
We'll see as we go along.
Oh, and then this... Oh, no, I know this.
Okay.
I do know this.
Okay.
The 9-month-old baby was shot in the torso. That's just awful. The bullet that passed through the baby also pierced mother's left breast. Oh, so were they
breastfeeding?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, because if the baby was shot in the torso and it went through the breast, that means that it was on her mum having a hug. Probably asleep.
Yeah, I think they were cuddling.
The father/husband, Neil, was a missing person at this time.
Yeah.
So it's just got grim.
Yeah. So do you know, have you heard of this?
I think I do. I do.
Okay.
But then I might be thinking of something else.
Okay.
Because there's so many grim men that take out their whole families rather than facing up to stuff. Right, Joe, your bit, investigation and discovery.
Okay. On 21st of January 2006, in the evening, Rachel's friend reported her missing. Police came to search, nothing out of the ordinary. The bodies were discovered on 22nd of January. So the bodies were discovered the next day. Even the police visited the place just the day before.
Wait.
Yeah.
How can they be discovered the next day if it's in the master bedroom?
Exactly. We'll go why they didn't discover the body.
I mean,
they just walked in the kitchen and went, that's fine.
They assume she's in the kitchen.
Woman's place in the kitchen, no. So either they're really bad at their jobs or they weren't dead by then.
I don't think they went inside.
No, they did. But let me just read through.
Okay.
So they were just moved into the house for 10 days. They invited some friends for a big housewarming party.
Yeah.
And on that Saturday night, Joanna Gately and her sister arrived at the house shortly after 7 p.m. but found the house locked with 2 lights on inside. They were concerned, so they called Rachel's mum, who apparently on the same day had turned up for lunch with her daughter and got no response at the house. Together, they decided to call the police. When the 2 police officers arrived at 8:30 p.m., went inside, walked through the house for any clues where the family might have gone. They did a quick inspection of the house and didn't notice much other than the unmade bed.
So,
wait.
What date was this? Was this the 21st?
Wait.
Yes.
The unmade bed that the body was in.
Yeah,
So how does that work?
Exactly, so
hang on though, what date did the police come round? On the 21st?
Yeah, 21st.
Okay.
Everything was, I guess, fine.
How did they get in?
The
police
break the door. Police don't question.
Yeah.
Police on.
Yeah, that was a question for me as well. Like, how did they get in? Because
the husband didn't let them in.
Did we read earlier that at that point the father was missing?
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
They were
how long would he be missing for?
We'll get to that. Where was I?
Bed. They locked up left and went back on patrol.
Yeah, so they.
I'm going back on patrol. Dale, it's your go.
Okay, the Gateleys, however, were so worried that they spent a freezing night on the driveway in the car, leaving 3 times to use the toilet at a gas station as they waited for the Entwistles to return. Why didn't they just use the house?
It's broken into already.
Yeah, because I guess, like, technically you can't go in. And the other question was, they were, like, just sitting there all night waiting.
Also, they didn't. They blatantly peed in a bush, and they're just like,
exactly. Who drives to a gas station?
I don't know any man that walks to the toilet when they're outside.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, next morning, Sunday.
Yeah.
The Gately sisters got a code for the garage door from a neighbour and let themselves in. In the kitchen, there were plates and food left out as the family had just eaten a meal. The bath was filled with water as though the couple had just bathed their 9-month-old baby daughter.
So what? So the police went in and saw all this and went, everything seems fine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and also my other question was, why did they, I mean, yes, they were invited for the housewarming party, but why did they have to wait all night until the morning? Like, were they actually thinking, oh, when they come in, we're going to do the housewarming party?
Yeah, 4 a.m, that's just like the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did they wait so long? I mean, it would be nice to have friends like that, waiting all day, but...
Well, no, I think the thing there is that they've called the police and the police have gone and they're just worried, so they're waiting.
Yeah, or the fact that it was going to be a big housewarming party, yet, like, nobody was there to attend them. Oh, the lights inside the house was on, but, like, nobody opened the door, so maybe they got a bit suspicious.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a party.
Why didn't you call her mobile phone?
I'm sure they did. That's why they decided to call the police, because nobody was answering.
Well, didn't they call the husband?
Maybe they did too. Like I said, nobody...
I don't know, it just seems like the police sent
it was, 2006? Did everybody have a phone back then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had my first phone when I was...
Probably a Nokia.
15. Right, let's get back to it.
Okay.
Where were we?
They got the code from the neighbour. Oh, yeah, the bath was filled. They checked the master bedroom, the bathroom in Lillian's room, where there was... Oh, God, that's creepy. There was classical music playing.
That is creepy.
I'm sorry, what were the police doing in this house?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, if they heard
classical music. Everyone's put on a roast. There's a lovely bath going.
And 2 dead bodies.
Well, to be fair, they obviously didn't find the bodies, but
they searched
all
the
this
bedroom,
other...
and it said the bed was unmade.
Yeah, but there were no bodies in it, so obviously something happened afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Well, there would be blood there, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if he shot her
We'll
holding the
read
baby,
along
she
and
Yeah,
we'll
there would be blood. But I'm sorry, you don't walk into this house and go,
Yeah.
well, everything seems fine here, officer.
Yeah,
Let's get back out on patrol.
Exactly. And if they heard the music playing, why didn't they go into the place where
You
they
know
were?
what?
Yeah, and I'm
That
sorry,
is-
classical music when there's nothing else going on is
Yeah.
seriously creepy.
Yeah.
Next to like a
Yeah.
child going.
Yeah.
They made assumptions because it was a rich house, you know.
Yeah.
If it was a council house,
Okay.
they would search every room.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I would argue the opposite there. If it was a
Really?
council house, they'd be like, well, fuck it, they don't have any money.
Mm.
Whereas if there's money there,
Oh right, I
they're
forgot to
going to
show you the
investigate
picture.
further.
Hmm.
Don't you think? I think the polar opposite to you.
Okay, I
I
just
don't know.
want-
I think they trust the wealthy more. You know, it's like, oh, there's nothing too untoward. Whereas,
Yeah.
Okay, there
Oi.
wasn't like at first I thought the classical music playing was like a I don't know whether you guys believe in the ghost stuff.
No.
no.
Okay, because I thought it was like a premonition.
What,
or
a ghost going around and playing the
Fire.
harpsichord?
something. No,
Yes.
I thought it was like the mother's cry for help because the daughters just died.
Well,
And
why doesn't the mother go, help? Rather
Yeah,
than,
why
I'm
play-
going to play really
No, no.
low-key classical
yeah, that's
music
it.
in the hopes that people realise I'm warning you.
I mean,
Are
when
you
the,
serious?
no, I'm saying when
Do
the
you believe in
police went in.
ghosts? Let's clarify this now.
I don't know.
Yeah, she believes in ghosts.
I don't know.
I believe in ghosts in the sense that people have obviously had really big experiences,
yeah.
but I haven't had it.
Okay. The
And
personal experience like that.
yeah, and anything that you see on there doesn't seem to be anything tangible about it, and then stuff that you see on TV is just a big bunch of crap. The majority of the time.
I was just wondering because when the police went in, they didn't hear music because they would have clarified that. You know, they just said nothing unordinary. And I thought it was premonition because, well, the mother's cry for help or something. But Dale said it's a big house. Here's a picture of the house they bought.
Oh, that's a nice house.
Yeah,
Well, that's
and
just like begging for some Christmas lights on that
Yeah,
tree,
we
isn't
should have
it?
discussed that earlier. It's a
Yeah, Joe, if you'd let
Sorry,
us look at the pictures.
I completely like just went off my head. It's
No, that's a
5-bedroom
nice
house, and they're just family with an infant child. So why would they need like a whole 5-bedroom house? You know?
I don't know, people
So-
are all about the status, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So was this?
Well, to hide the bodies, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
There's one bedroom.
I'm going to put an arm in here. I'm going to put a foot in the garage. Fuck it, this roof looks
Yeah.
really empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dale said, if the police heard the classical music, it's probably just rich people playing the music in the
But
background.
no one's in
their
the
empty
house. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing that I can't come to terms with.
No one goes out and leaves music on.
Yeah.
Not classical, anyway.
But, I don't know, I'm getting the impression that they went out and then they've come back. They've been, like, something's happened and they've had to leave.
Okay.
Because they didn't find the bodies in the beds, and then they find them in the beds the next day. But everything was like,
Well,
there,
so they
ready.
weren't
So there was like
murdered
some
that
kind
day.
of crisis that they had to leave.
The bed that was actually unmade. So
Yeah,
but
but I'm saying the
everyone
bodies
leaves
weren't
the
in
bed.
it at that point, but they were found in the bed later, weren't
Or
they?
they were and they never checked. I don't know.
yeah,
But they noted
I
that
would-
the bed was
yeah,
unmade.
It's more.
You can't be
to-
like, that bed is not made. I mean, there's loads of bodies in it, but
But
it
if
is
you
not
chuck
made.
the duvet over a person and they're
Yeah.
dead.
We'll
You
get
can
to
see
that.
the lump.
Let's continue reading. Where were we again?
They checked the master bedroom. Oh yeah, classical music playing, and then and then sat in the living room watching TV before
It's a
Rachel's mother and stepfather arrived.
What? They were sitting
So the
in there.
Rachel's friends who went through the garage because
Yeah.
they got the code from the neighbor, and then they called Rachel's
They
parents.
thought they would sit and watch TV whilst they were
Yeah.
Yeah,
missing.
yeah,
It's a
exactly.
classic Bob's Burgers.
Exactly,
I
that's a
had to
bit
catch up
weird.
on.
I mean, there's nothing they could do anyway. They're in now.
Yeah,
All they
but
could
I don't
do
know.
is
If
wait.
you're that worried, I
Yeah.
wouldn't sit and watch TV.
Oh, I'm so concerned.
It gets weirder, actually. Let's
Okay,
see.
right. The group decided to file an official missing persons report at
Hopkinton
Hopkinton
Police Station.
All right, Joe,
Okay.
I can say
So-
police and station.
I just want to get it over with.
It's fucking painful. We're only at page 2. Sergeant Sutton returned to the house to conduct a second search, And hopefully this time he was sober because he obviously missed everything beforehand.
Yeah.
And after entering the house through the basement, he noticed a smell that had not been there for the previous... Bollocks! It had not been there the previous day.
Exactly. No. The thing
A
is...
body doesn't smell in one day.
No, exactly. That's why I smashed it down in outrage.
Yeah. So the body must have been there.
See, and it says overwhelming stench.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
no
yes.
way.
And the
Don't
other
steal my
thing is,
next-
how did the friends and the parents not notice that while they were just sitting there watching TV?
Well,
The
because the
stench.
basements, if he's come in through the basement, if it's
Okay.
like in a corner.
Okay.
But yeah, true.
All right.
But a basement would naturally
I mean-
smell anyway.
Yeah, they are a bit
Okay.
damp. So he followed the overwhelming stench up through 2 floors, reached... Well, no, okay, I retract what I just said.
Okay.
He followed the overwhelming stench up through the 2 floors, reached the master bedroom, and approached the unmade bed. I'm sorry, are we about to discover rotting bodies in this bed?
What?
Not rotting. I
But
don't know.
dead enough to smell?
Yeah.
So they've done a search, their mates like trotting through the house, going like, there's the TV in the
And they're
wall
still
bar.
watching the
And
TV.
they're just like, we really need to air out this place. This is just bananas. So Sergeant Michael Sutton,
Yeah.
brackets, the officer who did the research of the search,
Did the search.
at Middlesex County Superior Court. So,
See, I was right.
all right, so
Right, right, right.
he had taken one step into the bedroom in his first search. He had seen the light on, but had not seen any people when he looked into the master bedroom. There was a large bed in the centre of the room. It was unmade. It looked as if all the bedding comforters and blankets had just been piled up in the centre of the bed. Yeah, so you're right now.
So they were, literally.
He returned at 6 p.m. the following evening and immediately noticed an odour. I'm sorry, you can't walk
No.
through a house and then suddenly go, oh yeah, it stinks.
Not in a
of-"
day.
It's just stupid. That's when he discovered the bodies. Nothing else had been put out of place, but the bed
Yeah.
had been messy. I just say that because Joe's put it in capitals. He noticed the woman's wristwatch was lying on the floor, which he had not been able to see from his position in the doorway before. He then lifted up the bottom corner of the duvet between 6 inches and a foot. I observed what appeared to be an adult foot, he said. Moving to the top of the bed, he lifted the duvet again. Oh, God. I first observed a small baby's face. I was looking down at the top of the head, forehead, eyes, nose. As he lifted the duvet further, he went on. I looked right into the baby's face and saw a woman's face. That's horrible. Why are we doing this?
He lifted the duvet and he saw adult foot. And then when he lifted the duvet on the top, he saw a baby's face. So was he confused that he was like a
She got some child and this grotesque adult foot. Poor child.
Yeah.
Gigantic lady feet.
So Dale, what were you saying earlier about discovering the body?
So you were right. You thought that they just not looked properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the unmade bed was the clue.
Yeah.
So he basically didn't check it properly.
Yeah, I just still like.
I mean,
I'm
that's
going to bang on about this, but I
Yeah.
just think it's awful that they would see a whole house that's just abandoned.
Yeah.
Because it feels like quite dystopian. The whole like everything was left as it was, and you wouldn't go in and be like, yeah, that appears fine. And then if that was all like that, and then you walked into a room,
Yeah,
I
and
think you'd be a bit more curious.
And he said
Yeah.
the second time he noticed the watch on the floor. Why did he not?
I think
And
he
the whole
just,
house stunk.
Yeah, in a day.
he
In the
didn't
winter as well, so it's not
I know.
like it's
Oh, okay.
100 degrees. Yeah, it's like 25
Oh, right,
degrees.
Yeah,
How can the friends not smell it watching the TV?
yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
they're
question.
sat at watching Bob's Burgers,
Yeah.
eating pretzels.
Maybe they knew
So
like
American.
something was wrong, so they decided not to go to bedroom until they called the parents because that's
Well,
what they
sometimes
did.
I think if you stumble on something, you don't want to be the first to admit
Yeah, I guess.
finding it.
Yeah, because
No, you just
True.
yeah. There was something. Oh, right. You were saying how did he not notice the wristwatch? For the master bedroom, he didn't really inspect it. He just stood at the doorway, and where he was standing, he couldn't see it through properly. All he
But who
noticed-
doesn't go in a room properly?
It was
Yeah.
just a
That's the
cruisery.
police's job to search. Just
Yeah.
like pop your head in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, when there's a missing person,
Yeah,
they-
you usually see the body that's like bloodied everywhere.
Yeah.
no,
on
it
the
wasn't
walls.
like that.
There's something in here.
No.
This is not a decorating choice.
So
I've seen enough of changing rooms to know something's awry here.
Oh my god. You've got a picture of the bed.
yeah, I had the unmade bed where the body was found.
I want to see the body, darling.
No, it won't show the body. There you go. That's the unmade bed, which they just.
That's the unmade bed. There's so clearly stuff underneath it.
No, I'm not sure which one's the real one. They probably both are, but the
Wait,
That's the real one.
no,
That's
the real one is that one because I remember them
Wait, they're both
describing
different.
No, they're just taken from different lights, so the warm light that you can see there is what's reflecting off there.
They have the 4-poster bed. So
I'm sorry,
it's like a
you
poster.
don't see that and go, oh yeah, it's a regular unmade bed.
Yeah. So, like I said,
I'm never moving to America.
how long before you can actually report them officially missing?
24 hours.
Yeah, but when they reported them, it wasn't even 24 hours.
No, it was.
Because it was supposed to be.
I think it's different when a child's involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. The police located the father/husband, Neil Entwistle, on 23rd of January. That's how many days?
2
2
afterwards.
days. 2 days. He was apparently at his parents' home in Worcester. The police from the Massachusetts. I'm sorry. Massachusetts.
Yes.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Massachusetts.
The Massachusettsville.
So basically, the police from there.
Wait, why did they just call him?
No, they located him because they're.
Well, he's in England
Yeah.
and they're in America.
Oh, is he?
Exactly.
Workshop.
Yeah.
Keep up,
Oh,
Dale.
he got
Come on.
home quickly.
Okay, so they
He got home quickly.
No.
He must have run the whole way.
This was 2 days later.
Yeah,
so.
but he booked the flight that quick, and no one noticed he left the
That's
country.
true. Premeditated.
Yeah.
I've not
There we
even
go.
gotten there. Anyway,
Okay,
so
to page 7.
so he called. Sorry, the police called. I'm just gonna say, Dale, that you are very good. Like
Basically, you're ruining the
Yeah,
story.
exactly. You're kind of like ruining the twist. So the call lasted about 2 hours, and the call was recorded. Here's what he said to the police on the phone.
On the morning of the murders, he had left his home at around 9 a.m. to run an errand, and that his wife and daughter had both been alive and well in the bed in the couple's master bedroom.
Crescent's concerned.
He claimed that when he returned at around 11 a.m., he found both his wife and daughter had been shot dead and had no idea who had killed them. What kind of excuse is that? He covered the bodies with a blanket, as you do.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry, I was listening to Crescent. Sorry, so this man is saying that he came home after 2 hours, found them dead,
Yeah.
put a blanket on them, and fucked off to England. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. He
Sorry,
yeah.
that's going to be a lot of
Wait.
screaming.
That's
Just-
fine.
He told the police that he was so distraught upon seeing the corpses of his wife and daughter that he decided to kill himself.
Where's that? I'm not seeing that.
That's the next line.
Yeah, the next paragraph.
But he didn't kill himself.
Okay, yeah, continue.
However...
Please not ruin it. Like, can you act like you don't know this case?
Oh, I
please?
wonder if he killed himself.
Even though it's the future and he's on the phone to the police. Suspend disbelief, everyone.
However...
Yeah.
Next
Shock
line.
and horror. Is that your shock and horror?
Wait. Because he was unable to bring himself to end his life with a knife, why did he need to use a knife? They have guns in America.
Yeah, and also who's going to just like manically stab themselves?
Yeah.
You have to be,
Why not hang himself?
You have to be a King Kong with a knife on your hand. Going like that.
Wait, he drove the family car to his father-in-law's house to get a gun.
Sorry, why not on the way just drive it off
Yeah.
something? Or
But at
into
least
something?
he's going to get a gun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so while all this is going on, why has he not called the police to say someone has killed
Because
my
Good question.
newborn and my wife?
Because
question.
They're currently
priority.
under a blanket.
He needs to kill himself. That's the priority.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're already dead, so they don't
Oh,
matter anymore.
narcissists are the worst.
Yeah.
There you go.
Finding the Matarazzos
That's the parents of the
Matarazzos.
of
House.
Rachel's parents.
house locked, He told police that he decided to fly home.
I'm out. This is just ridiculous.
They could have hijacked the plane. And...
Could have thrown a blanket over the captain, much like he did his family. Therefore, they don't exist.
Or use the bath that's full of water and drown himself.
Exactly. Or stuck his head in the oven that was still cooking their tea. Or deafened himself with the classical music that was
do what
blaring.
friends did and watch Netflix.
Exactly.
Okay, so what happened? He becomes a suspect for the following reasons.
Because he's clearly guilty.
Can we go back to the phone call where he says he drove to the in-laws' house to get a gun? He's saying that whoever killed his wife and daughter killed them and they left, therefore there was no gun. So he couldn't kill himself with a gun.
Yeah, well, not to be a spoiler alert, but we know he's full of shit.
So he drove to Rachel's parents' house to
No,
get
this was
the
a
gun.
lie.
That's what I'm
was a
saying.
lie?
I mean, that story.
That's what he's
No.
saying.
No, but she's
I
trying
don't
to,
believe it.
trying to logically
Arguing.
explain why he drove to get a gun.
I'm trying to explain like where we are at.
The fact that his first response was not to call the police for whatever reason.
Yeah.
No, just put a blanket.
Just
Why not just put
like
the,
not happen.
why not just put the duvet back over the body? Why a
He
blanket?
I don't think it matters what he's putting on top of them, Dale.
No, it's
the
like
fact
he
he's
went
covering
into the
them.
cupboard to get a specific
Got a nice freshly
blanket
laundered and snap. God, that's just.
And maybe that's why the stench. Actually, no, it doesn't make sense. The stench. It can't smell in 24 hours, can it?
No, and like I say, it's in January. It's cold. I mean, I know they're indoors and the heating's on, but I mean, how long does it take for a body to smell? It's like 4 or 5 days, right?
Yeah. To be honest, the cop looks like a suspect so far.
I think
I haven't seen the picture. Oh, I thought you meant you'd seen a picture.
No, the cop. You know, he
No, I
didn't
think he's
notice
just
the
really
body.
shit at his job. Also, it's Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas. It's January. He's depressed. Christmas is done. He's got the January blues.
Okay, let's go to suspicions then.
Oh, I wonder why he's the suspect.
So who's doing that?
Well, we haven't even said who the suspect was. Anyway.
It's obviously him! Joe!
Yes, you're right. He is the suspect.
I think Joe should be a lawyer. It's like, no, it's not a suspect. It's not tight. He's clearly not a suspect. Why? Because, it's just gotta stop.
It's too obvious.
Yeah. Think around. Stop being in that box. Oh, I'm sorry. So, even though she's trying to defend him, the first point is on the 21st of January after murdering his wife and daughter.
Oh God, I forgot to remember that.
Spoiler.
Assumptions, Joe.
Yeah.
He bought a one-way ticket from Boston
Wait,
to
are
London.
those words yours?
No, and then Joe wrote, he fled his ass so fast.
That's supposed to be on the comments.
He fled his ass so fast.
Yeah, that was like literally hours after the wife and daughter was dead. He just like bought a ticket and left. And it was a one-way ticket, so.
Yeah, so he was supposed to go. So his DNA was on the handgun that belonged to his father-in-law, his own wife's stepfather.
His wife's DNA was on a muzzle.
On Gun's muzzle.
Oh, that's an awful thought then. So basically, he's put the gun in her mouth.
No, but the hole was so small. What did he shoot?
Not in her
Oh yeah, I
mouth.
forgot about her.
Yeah.
rotten
Not in
stuff.
her mouth. It was on Gun's muzzle to Gun's mouth, not her mouth.
No, yeah, but why would her DNA be on the muzzle? Because he's put the gun.
No,
Oh,
I
unless
think
he put it
DNA.
like straight to.
Yeah.
DNA can be from anywhere.
She was shot in the head, so on
Oh, so he
Gun's
might have
muzzle.
just put it straight there.
Yeah.
But it left a tiny hole.
Yeah, I forgot about the
yeah.
tiny little.
Yeah, we'll go along.
I don't care what gun you use. If you put it right next to her head and
it's gonna
shoot,
blow.
let's test it on Joe. We will leave a bit.
It was a gun. I actually kind of like removed.
Are we sure it was a gun?
I know it's a gun. I removed which gun it was. It's not like we know what gun looks
Why
like.
have you
anyway.
removed which gun it was? That's
It doesn't matter what killed her. The point is.
Yeah, it was. She was killed by a gun.
There was
And if I
tiny
said it was
hole.
a .22 caliber revolver, would you know exactly what that
I
Leave
is?
would
a
know
tiny hole. Was it a pinprick hole?
Yeah, I mean they had that, but I kind of removed the gun because I thought it was just occupying my sentence.
because it's occupying your sentence. Not because...
I was reading that and then that got into my head. Occupying my... Stop occupying my sentence.
Why not
Word.
remove the he fled his ass so fast and put the gun back?
He did flee. And she was shot by...
his ass so fast.
But the gun is not important.
Oh yeah, who gives a shit about the murder weapon?
Basically, it was a revolver.
Was it? Then that leaves a big hole.
So...
Where are we?
I think, yeah, we have to get past that. Let's get past the details. If you're here for the details, you come to the wrong house.
Okay.
A set of keys to his father-in-law's house were found in the car that he left at Boston. Again, how loud do you eat? You're literally like...
Yes, Dale. Stop.
And you'll have evidence of it on here.
I don't think it's that good of a microphone.
Pardon?
It's not that good of a microphone.
Well,
God,
you're right next to it. And...
Yeah.
Okay, now you're eating normally.
Hopefully it is recording.
I think it is.
Okay.
A set of the keys to their father-in-law's house were found in the car that he left at Boston Logan Airport. He'd been unemployed since 2005, so authorities suspected a financial motivation for the murders. Brackets. Here is
Don't
why.
brackets. Don't read the brackets.
Oh, what was he really doing at the time? Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? Because he's a fucking arsehole. I can feel it.
Okay.
A big moment.
Okay, no, I think you should say it because it gets weirder, and then
And you're the weirdest.
Yeah.
Do you want some more sweets? Be sure to eat throughout, just to make it extra weird.
He ran a site called millionmaker.uk. .co.uk.
Side note, Dale works with computers.
Yeah,
Everyone.
and he's a web designer.
I wonder
Just .uk, I've got no time for code. Get out words messing up my sentence.
if it's still up.
Yeah, look it up.
I mean, it's not
You
up.
can do it at the same time. Oh, does it
It's not up,
exist?
but you can actually check the
I buy
archive
the
or
domain?
history. It's already
Dale can
taken.
read whilst you look it up.
Okay.
Okay. It's weird. Just read what the website is
A
about.
get-rich scheme which offered 24-hour support to those with adult internet business. That's such a nice way of
My God, what, like,
Basically,
it was to do with
just say-
porn?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Or escort services, I guess. Yeah.
and promised a profit of $6,000 a month within the first 6 months, but that later closed down. He also ran another site, srpublications.co.uk. It offered a manual claiming to enlarge penises.
Claiming to enlarge penises.
What a
Can you-
boring domain. Like, if I was looking for a large penis...
SR Publications. I must go where books are made for my giant cock.
What does the S and the R stand for?
Substantial
Ranch.
raising.
Oh yeah, substance.
I don't know.
Or something.
Rager, that's it.
Yeah.
That's much better.
He visited sites including Adult Friend Finder,
Oh, man.
That was in 2005. That's 2 years before they moved.
half-price escorts, because
Oh,
full
because
price
he's a cheap.
is too
I'm
much.
spending $1,500 a month on my house in America, so...
Escorts Naughty Nightlife,
Oh, my God.
hot local escorts. Through the Adult Friend Finder site, he sent a series of emails to other women saying he was looking for more fun in the bedroom. His profile on the site, recovered by investigators from his laptop, had images and captions.
Wait, hold on. Let me show you
Oh,
the
please
picture.
do not say we have a picture of this.
Yeah, that's the picture that he posted with that
So
caption.
what this? He had a picture of himself reclined in a lounge chair, naked and fully aroused, laying in his in-laws' backyard.
Wait,
This
Oh, we don't see.
I know, I was going to say,
Yeah.
where's the penis?
Obviously.
See, I was all like, oh, I don't want to see it, but now I'm really disappointed because he basically just looks like
Oh,
he's
so it
asleep
just looks like he's
sunbathing.
pleasuring
Yeah,
himself.
he does actually. Looks like you, that picture. Of him.
And this was in Rachel's parents' home, so his
What?
in-laws' place before they found a place for themselves.
Yeah, but he's in
Wow.
the garden, so...
Yeah, in the back.
So he's keeping it in.
So it's
nature,
okay.
It's fine as long as it's not in the living room.
Yeah, we had a lounger in front of the TV naked. It would be a bit
Oh,
weird.
that's so.
So with
lame.
this image, there was a caption saying,
I'm looking for one-on-one discreet relationships with American ladies.
Also known as I'm a fucking skis bag that doesn't take my
Skis or
loyal
sleeves?
skis.
What's skis?
Well, it's the same thing. Have you not skis?
No,
is
I
a
haven't
word?
heard of
Oh, I've heard of skis.
Oh.
Well, sleaze bag.
But
Who
get the
doesn't take
idea.
my loyalties and responsibilities correctly, and I get bored of being married, and I'm therefore going to kill my newborn child and my wife. I don't want to do this anymore. This is
No, indeed.
horrible.
Okay.
Why
Men
American?
are awful.
Yeah, continuing. There was also...
One word, Myra Hindley.
Who's that?
That's for another episode.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, that will be another episode. Let me make a note.
I'm just saying women can be evil too.
What's the name again?
Yeah, but I'm
Myra?
sorry. If we carry on doing this, you'll discover that the majority of this is carried out by your type.
Yeah, a web
Your
designer.
penis
Penis
carrying type.
enlarger.
Well, I haven't had the penis
And
enlarged
not
yet.
one murder has
Well, you
ever
need-
been done by a dog.
That's not true.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
What?
Dogs have committed many murders.
It just like suddenly went into my head. They were actually holding a knife and murdering.
Yeah, Crescent's just suddenly like...
I know.
So there were other posts
It's
as
raining.
well. Just close the door. Waiting for Dale to close the door.
Door now closed, door now closed. Sat down, sat down. And other posts such as... You're eating, man! I've never noticed
Can you
it
please
before.
not make a sound as you chew, please?
We just need to hear it back just to confirm that I'm not imagining it.
The dog is
Um,
now eating.
Yeah, blame it on the dog.
It is the dog.
And other posts such as, I'm looking to meet American women of all ages.
See, he's not an ageist at least.
Hold on.
Oh, come on, that's scraping the barrel.
All ages.
I need to confirm what friends have told me, that you are much better in bed than the women
Huh?
over the ocean, as from there.
Wait, his wife's American now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Isn't one enough?
learn to write English.
But...
They are much better in bed than the women over the ocean, as from there.
Yeah, he's basically saying it twice, right?
Yeah, basically.
Over the... No, he's not saying it twice.
Yeah, because he's saying than the women over the ocean, as from there. So he's saying
Oh,
over
yeah.
there,
From
over
UK.
there.
Is he
P.S.
literally
over there.
pointing? Oh,
Yeah, he's
over
literally-
there.
I'm using my penis. My penis in my in-law's garden to point. A fucking idiot.
We won vote.
We both want the same thing, so there's little point in dragging it out here.
Well, put it back in your pants.
Exactly. Go be a father and a husband. According to his friends, he claimed to have had a $100,000 IT contract, bringing in $10,000,
What?
$10 a week per week to fund the new house.
Wait. 10,000 per week, and that's 40,000 a month, which is at least 400,000 a year. So how's he only on 100,000 IT contract?
I know.
Did you just calculate it?
Yeah.
Did you just fuck up my maths?
That's why I killed
That's
them.
what-
He looked at the contract and realised.
That's what he claimed, basically.
Well, his math sucks.
Yeah, so he has a $100,000 contract.
Yeah. Bringing in 10,000 per week.
To
Yeah.
fund the new house.
Yeah, so where's the other
That's-
300 grand?
It's on hookers and...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
People normally think it's in a roundabout kind of way.
No,
right?
that's
Like
a
just
big
a
difference.
ballpark.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a colossal.
okay. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
the-
he's not spending that on sandwiches
Yeah.
every week.
the highlight here is he claimed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
he
what
was,
he
yeah,
did.
he's
Well, we
bullshit.
can gather from his maths that he's not telling the truth.
Yeah, you could have.
He's
You
too
would
busy
have caught
wanking
him.
in the garden. Yeah, so he told his friends he purchased a car that was in fact leased.
Aw.
Classic. Oh, look at my car. I don't even own it. And that he had a mortgage for the house that was actually rented.
Oh, who doesn't lie about that?
Oh,
hold
come on. What is up with this whole
Yeah.
sort of, like, you've got to have this
No, I mean, that's just
facade of-
pathetic. He's just, like, trying to look...
Oh, hold on. The
Yeah,
IT
good.
contract that he said he was bringing 100,000 was actually intelligence work for British government. That's
so
what
he is
claimed.
actually doing something.
No,
worthwhile.
that's what he claimed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
'cause that's more
When in fact he
believable
was
now.
wanking in the garden.
Yeah. So So I guess when people ask to give more details about his job, he could easily say it's
because
confidential.
my mum's friend's daughter, he works for supposedly for MI5, and every time the daughter
That's
asks
such
about
bullshit.
they all think like, oh, he's either a cleaner or he just works in a shop outside of MI5. Because every time she asks, she's like, I can't tell you, can't tell you.
The definition of MI5 is they don't tell you in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not I work for them, but I can't tell you.
No, like she said. Wait, did she
I'm a
say?
spy for the Russians. I can't tell you.
Don't tell anyone, especially Deirdre in the corner. She's a fucking gobshite.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Right,
Okay.
he was more than 30,000 in
Random.
credit card debt and was under investigation by eBay of all things. How pathetic! For numerous fraudulent transactions. I'd love to know what he was selling on eBay.
Yeah, it goes on.
Oh, does it? An eBay fraud investigator also said that he had 6 different accounts set up in his name. Does it tell you what he...
Yeah, he was selling computer products.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah. And there were complaints that from dozens of
They were
buyers.
made out of cardboard.
No, they just didn't receive the goods even after they paid.
Right.
So I think he kept doing that and then like closing the account, making another
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Not
So
to
that's why he
skip
had, like,
ahead,
6.
but this stuff always using.
Can you please not skip ahead? No,
Well,
don't
it's
say.
next.
Don't
Stop
start
showing
your
off your
sentence.
abilities to read.
Yes.
By reading ahead. We can all read here.
Yeah.
Apart from Crescent. Stop making me feel bad.
Crescent is the
You
dog.
can read. You can read.
Oh yeah,
pictures.
Crescent's a dog.
Okay.
Don't show him the wanking man in the garden.
If you do, you'll start humping. Come on.
Who's next? I've just read.
All right, Del, go on.
On his computer, it was revealed that days before. Why is that highlighted?
Days before.
Yes.
The
That's why
murder.
it's
He had a search histories that would incriminate him further. As late as January 18, 2006, 3 days before the murder, he searched for sex escort services in nearby towns and looked for details about blonde beauty's escort services. In the month before he murdered Rachel and Lillian, in amongst the internet searches for jobs, cheap flights and get-rich schemes, were search phrases including knife in neck kill, how to kill with a knife. I mean, who has to Google how to kill with a knife? How to kill people.
That's a really good point.
Where do I stick it?
No, it's not easy actually.
Do I use the pointy end or...
Well, the
No, it's
handle.
not easy. Yeah, have you heard about people who's actually survived from getting stabbed with knives?
I mean, yeah.
So I think that he was trying to be specific. And also, it's not easy to pierce humans.
Wow.
You know a
What
lot,
are you
Sherry.
using?
Why do you know so
I'm
much?
using the
That's-
kid's toy knife.
No, it's not
Why
because.
won't it go in?
Why is it squeaking?
Okay, I know this because someone
What?
told me. Someone told me that it's not easy.
Someone, Joe's mate.
Yeah. Well, I also tried to pierce my navel belly button, and then
What,
With
a
what?
knife?
With
No.
a knife?
not with a knife.
With loads of flesh coming out.
Yeah, intestines going everywhere. No. I tried to pierce it with a needle, but you know the needle is like quite sharp and pointy.
Yeah.
Even then, it
I'm
was
familiar what a needle is, yeah.
It
Do you have
didn't-
needles in England?
So even it being sharp and pointy, it just was so hard to get it through. So you can
Yeah.
imagine.
Well, if it was
Although-
sharp and pointy, it would go through quite easy.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I
It
feel you.
didn't.
Pizza's coming.
Anyway,
I mean, your belly's quite fleshy, and also there's that whole thing of like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm going to do this to myself. So you have, even if you
Mm.
want to do it, you have a level of hesitation. Whereas if you're stabbing, you're at the point where
yeah,
you're
I guess
committed,
you
aren't
put
you?
a force in there. So.
But yeah, and also this stuff always gets me because it's like,
That's
are
my
you a
point.
moron?
Well,
Why are you Googling this stuff on your home computer? Are you just like, clear history, it doesn't exist anymore?
That's my point, though. Everyone searches random stuff like that just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I always
I
hate when
can
they use
say I
that.
have never Googled how to kill
Yeah,
a
but I bet
person.
you've Googled
Like,
dodgy porn.
Fucking bet you have.
Everybody
you
has.
Googled
I mean,
everything, Dale.
Yeah, that's my point. I would look like
Dale's
a
the
prime
OG
suspect.
of the dodgy Google search.
I mean,
So-
I would understand, like, it was 2005 after all, and the internet was just starting to kind of...
Yeah, who
Yes,
knew
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
tracking
Yeah.
you?
Yeah,
That's
but the
it.
fact that he was a web designer,
That's what I
programmer,
mean. He's
yeah, he should have known stuff like that you can actually trace through all that.
Right.
So
So
that was
hypothetically, if you were going to kill Joe,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be googling all this stuff, would you? You wouldn't be going
No.
like
But
how
if
best
I-
to shag a golden retriever and then stab your girlfriend
Oh,
in the
God.
head. But you wouldn't though if you were going to be really depraved. Please edit that out.
I love the way he googled Effed Up Murders podcast YouTube interview.
The footnote, God.
Okay.
What's in Twitch?
Twitch is somewhere where you go live on.
Oh, is it? Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So,
So, for basically,
Twitch.
stop twitching.
What's a Twitch?
Okay, so amongst where did you stop? You
Wait,
stopped
why-
on how to kill
We're at
with
the
a
end.
knife.
Yeah, how to kill people. Best way to kill someone. It's like there's a top 10.
I love it's like,
Best.
okay, best. It's really sarky to put it in quotes. What's the best? What do you
Yeah.
think is your best, Ray? It's clearly not the best.
Can we Google it? I don't know.
No.
You can do it on
later.
your phone,
We need
you
to finish
creepy
this. We're only
Quick
on-
suicide method.
Yeah,
Just randomly stick that in between the footnotes.
Yeah.
and like escort services in between.
So maybe he did plan to kill himself afterwards.
Yeah.
But like a cowardly
Well, if you
lion,
Googled
like all
it-
these murderers, they go, oh no, but I don't want to die now.
He might have
Yeah.
googled it to suicide, or he might have googled that to
To
make
make
the
it look like,
Yeah, why didn't he overdose?
Mom, mom.
Well,
I don't know.
matron.
we are back on the arrest and extradition. Or did I not say that right?
Yeah, yeah, you said it right. Extradition. Okay, so the funeral was on February the 8th. He
No.
didn't attend the funeral, but sent 2 flowers. Well, just 2 flowers.
Yeah,
Like,
with the message.
here's
Yeah.
a daisy for you.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Why
With the
didn't he go?
message, my orange rose and my lily for always. XOXOXO.
Wait, he
So it
sent
is
it from
literally-
England, the flowers.
Yeah, he didn't attend the funeral himself. He
Wow.
just sent the flowers.
So did he buy him from the US?
You can order.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
flower
saying, did
to
he
send
order it from America?
Yeah, he
direct?
probably ordered them
Obviously
online.
not.
What with being the tech whiz that he was
Yeah.
with all
Oh,
his
yeah.
erections
And
and,
who
penis enlargements.
And didn't know not to search stuff
Yeah,
because people
and
can
I'd never
trace
heard
it.
of clear history.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, clear history doesn't work anymore.
Oh no, I know, it's never worked.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
gets hold of your computer, clear history is
Yeah.
basically going, I'm guilty.
Do orange roses exist?
I did just think that.
No,
No, yeah, you can dye them by sticking them in dye, but I
Dye
love...
them?
Yeah, you put like dye in the water
Okay,
and
I
then they
thought-
absorb it up and it turns the
So
petals.
he's
Okay.
committed 3 murders.
But I prefer the image of him sat there with a Sharpie, just colouring in.
I still want to know where he gets orange rose from.
That's
I
what I
told you.
mean.
It's a
Sharpie.
nickname now. My orange rose and my lily. Doesn't
God, if
say-
someone was like, oh, my orange rose, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house. What you call me orange rose for? You pebble dash
Yeah,
toilet.
yeah.
Get out. Okay. 1 week after the funeral, a warrant was issued for his arrest. Next day, he was arrested on a London Underground train. Bloody hell, what? So they went into the London Underground?
Yeah, hold on. Where are you? Oh, okay.
Fucking dildo.
During the arrest, he was carrying a blue bag containing a notebook which details how he wanted to sell his story to the highest bidder. On one page, he professed love for his orange rose and my lily. On another, he called his wife his soulmate and very best friend.
Oh.
But in another section, he had drafted 2 letters to editors. In one, he described himself as a close friend and confidant of Entwistle, who he said wanted to tell his side of the story. He wrote, "What's of interest to us is what price you would be willing to pay for exclusive rights to the full story."
So
I'm a bit confused now.
yeah, so what he's trying to do is he's written all this story to sell to the publisher,
Mhm.
and he's pretending to be his confidant or a
His
friend,
friend, yeah.
who's sending the book. Like, you know, if you want to publish this book, you have to pay the exclusive rights
Yeah.
for the full story. So
Yeah.
he's pretending to be someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have taken months to get him back to the US, He initially requested not to be sent back to the States, but later agreed to be extradited.
He agreed.
On March the 28th, he was indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder, illegal possession of a firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. 2 weeks later, he pleaded not guilty to all the charges. During his trial, Entwistle himself declined to give evidence, but his defence lawyers argued that Rachel had killed Lillian and then shot herself in a fit of depression. Can you imagine having to be that lawyer?
Yeah. They must have been desperate, right?
Yeah.
To be able to...
Vultures.
Well, that's what I thought. They have to find some sort of defence on their side.
Yeah, well,
So
you have to
decided
do it. Don't you have to do it as a lawyer if you're asked to? Or can you say,
think you
no,
do.
I don't want to? I have a feeling you have to.
I think, like, that's... I mean, I know for sure, but we'll read it later. I don't want to give it away now. So
Okay.
I will see, like, why they said that.
Okay.
They die in the end.
And shot herself in a fit of depression, and that he had removed the gun and then fled in a bid to protect his wife's honour. He was found guilty of all charges on the 25th of June 2008. Oh shit, so that went over like 2 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
And sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Good.
Yeah, so
Twat.
that's what's happened.
I don't
like,
get why he agreed to be extradited. He surely knew.
I think it was
found guilty.
advice from the lawyers.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know if it's because of the lawyer's advice. Maybe I should have done a better research. But the police must have...
But how I like to imagine it is...
I'm just being like... The police must have said something to him, like, if you don't come here, you know, we're definitely going to put charge on you or something. I don't know.
You don't come here, I'm going to, well, I'll stay with you.
Also, the fact that the defense team tried to say that Rachel killed herself, like it was a suicide murder.
Yeah.
Would it make sense? So there, it comes.
No, but
along.
in their defence case,
Yeah.
the only point is proving that she shot the kid if he's guilty.
Yeah, the defense is saying that it was a murder suicide. She killed the baby and then shot herself. But if she did shoot the baby, the bullet literally passed through the baby to her, and she was in agony, and yet she somehow managed to shoot herself. And
We're
apparently,
hypothesising absolute cod shite here.
yeah,
And then pull the duvet over
Yeah.
herself so the detective...
he admitted.
Nah, it's very plausible.
So what the prosecution did was one of the women in the jury was about the same size of Rachel, so they told her to hold the gun and then pretend to shoot herself in an angle where she was shot. But it was a weird angle to...
What,
if
you
it
mean like
was-
this?
Yeah, it's like that or whichever angle it was shot at. The woman from the jury who tried to do it, could prove that it was
Yeah,
just
it
not
wasn't
possible. Yeah, to have been a
And also, it's so
suicide.
clear what happened. This guy was a complete piece
He
of
should've.
shit,
Mm.
lived with way beyond his means. His wife clearly found out what he'd been up to,
Yeah.
and that they had money issues.
Yeah.
And
Why
they were in
didn't
a
he
colossal
just
amount of
leave?
debt, and he's just freaked out. Well, because I think she's confronted him. They've had a fight, and she's gone to bed with the baby, and he's just freaked out and come and shot her in the head. Oh, but then why is the bath full of water?
It said earlier that the bath was filled, as in like they've just bathed their baby.
Bathed the baby. Bathed the baby.
Bathed.
Bathed.
Why didn't he just plead insanity instead of that stupid defence that she killed?
It just says
It's just a
that
He's
law.
not insane, he's a dick.
he pled not guilty, which means
Yeah, but he was never going to get away with it. I
We
mean, if
don't
he
know.
hadn't fled the country, that was the big giveaway.
yeah, I know, but
But
there's
he
an
did put a
explanation.
blanket down.
I know.
Blanket
And
and run.
send 2 flowers.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be weird if he appealed and later he was found not guilty?
Oh my god, is a twist about to happen?
We don't know. Let's keep reading.
In prison threats.
This one's a funny
Who's
one.
next?
What, in prison? Okay. Apparently, in August 2008, he was tricked into shaving his head in an attempt to secure the protection of the white supremacist gang. But instead of giving him protection, the gang reportedly said, "It's a nice gesture on your part, but we're gonna kill you."
We're gonna kill you. Yeah, like I
I never usually root for white supremacists,
Yeah.
but I'm on their
Even
side
they have
of
the
this
limits. This was apparently a serious threat, so in December he
Yeah,
was
that's pretty
transferred.
serious. We're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Why did they give him warning?
No, it wasn't a joke. Like, obviously it was serious, so that's why he got transferred to a more medium security.
Right. Yeah, they're not really known
prison.
for their, like, just a little memo coming round on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to put a blanket over you. Oh my... What's
Okay, so we know now that he was basically incarcerated for the murder of
Yeah.
In 2008, there was book and documentary release. A book called
Heartless, the true story of Neil
Yes.
Entwistle. And the cold-blooded murder of his wife and child. I'm not giving the author credit.
What's that mean?
I haven't looked into her book.
The man
too,
who
so-
didn't cry.
Also, I'm sorry, that was on Channel 5. That was a crap documentary.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it, but it's Channel
Okay.
5. It's going to be a shit
I think
documentary.
that's the one we watched. I just can't remember, and I tried to watch it, but I couldn't find it.
But what kind of
I
name
didn't
is that?
I didn't really dig into it. But
What, the man who didn't cry? Is that like...
yeah, so what happened was he cried only at one part during the trial. He
So
cried.
did cry. The man... I don't think he cried.
No, I think what it makes out as is he did shed a tear during when they were showing the body of the mother and child in bed. But the way he cried, it looked like he was actually laughing, like
Oh, okay.
covering
like
his
the
face.
Joker.
And that was the only time he actually showed an emotion. So
Maybe someone was called an onion.
what?
He's chopping onions in court. Very inappropriate.
It was
I just want an omelette. You know what I
It
mean?
was his defence lawyer.
Get this trial over with.
Rubbing on
Yeah.
his face.
Look emotional. Oh god, profile.
In 2018, Neil's story, Trial by Media, was published by Neil's father, Clifford. Well, that's going to be an unbiased account, isn't it?
Yeah.
Outlining how Neil is innocent. Profile.
Yeah.
Things are not always what they seem.
Ooh.
With remarkable objectivity, Entwistle,
Entwistle.
thank you.
I want to whistle when you say it.
Cliff and reveals the inconsistencies in the investigation, the lies told, and the key forensic evidence withheld from the medical examiner.
Wait, did you write this, Joe?
No,
With
this is the
Touchingly personal candour, he shares the pain.
That's
he
not
felt.
her.
I'm not her.
What's candor?
I don't know.
Wait, what does candour mean?
Let me
I
just
think
do a
candour
quick...
means like
I
sensitive
think, whoa,
approach
that's
stuff.
really deep, Joe. Like, very
No,
tense.
this is a profile of the book.
Oh,
The
Because
quality
you're being
of
open and honest.
everything and was. We should have started with that.
Well, Joe has refreshing candour.
I completely forgot what it meant again.
It's being open and honest, basically.
Oh, okay.
He shares the pain he felt at the great loss and betrayal his family suffered. You will be disturbed by the harrowing details he exposes of the justice system of both the UK and the US, yet you cannot fail to be encouraged as he testifies to the strength and resilience of family bonds in the face of unimaginable
Oh
heartache and
my God.
adversity. And I've run out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the book, he says, forensic gunshot residue evidence, which was withheld, would have proved that it was Rachel who fired the gun.
Can you prove that?
Evidence. Yeah, also, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
it's
does he know?
forensic, surely.
Oh, I just took a quick forensic course on Open University.
No, I'm jumping ahead, but
Okay.
the prosecution didn't bring out the file. There was a residue on her hands.
Then he needs a better lawyer.
No,
Yeah.
you
It's
wouldn't
their
know
job.
you wouldn't know until everything was over, though, right?
What?
Obviously, the prosecution team are
No,
trying
you
to.
have to disclose all evidence you've got to the defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if he's already.
But that's a
sentenced-
big thing that,
Yeah.
lots of stuff doesn't get disclosed. Or
Yeah, because they want to win, and they played in a technicality term. But
The other
have to
point
or
is
something.
so fucking clutching at straws.
Evidence from the bullet wounds showed that Lillian was first killed, not Rachel, which supports the theory that Rachel shot her baby and then herself.
Yeah.
He told Nottinghamshire Live there were inconsistencies in the investigation, such as a gunshot residue results on Rachel's hands front and back, which were not disclosed to the person doing the autopsy.
They were But none of that is evidence. The residue of her was probably because he pointed the gun at her. So that's why the residue is on it. And the other thing was just proof that he killed the kid first.
I found it kind of hard to understand why he's saying that, but it connects why he's saying that in the next few bits.
Okay.
So let's go.
But why would Rachel kill her own baby?
He said that she had started to show signs of depression within a month of Lillian's birth. The fact that the medical history was not done on the family, extinguishing a possible link to a postpartum depression in Rachel. Never heard of that.
Postpartum?
Yeah. It's a type of depression you may get after you have a baby. It can start...
Postnatal depression, have you heard of
Yeah,
that?
I've heard that.
Okay, it's similar. Can we explain it for the people who might be listening?
Postpartum or postnatal depression is not a character flaw or a weakness. Sometimes it's simply a complication of giving birth. It usually occurs around 4 to 6 weeks after the delivery, but sometimes does not manifest until months to a year after the baby is born. The signs and symptoms can be found online, and if you believe you have this depression, please see your doctor, as prompt treatment can help you manage your symptoms and help you bond with your baby.
I have heard stories about, not stories, but I've heard like the women who's given birth have actually killed their kids because they couldn't bond with their kid.
Wow.
And that's what this depression is.
Yeah, but there's no evidence, and he didn't report it.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Let's say like you did find me dead in the bed. What would be your first thought?
I'll
To call
put a
911?
blanket, fly to America, and send two
I need some
flowers.
bath, whatever, bath.
You need to
What?
buy a ticket, right?
Classical
to go to
music.
America.
Oh yeah, fill the bath.
Play some
Where there's no
classical
lights.
music on.
Invite you round to watch TV.
And there were key text messages between Rachel and her friends, and what?
That were not allowed as evidence or telephone call between Rachel and her mom.
What did they
So
say?
they were not allowed in the
But
evidence.
surely
so we
his
don't know what
father
it said.
should mention in the book what they are.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is like she was suffering from the depression and the.
So her
phone call
Rachel's been texting her mum or her friend and
friends.
calling her mum and saying,
Yeah.
"I've married a massive tosser
Yeah.
who has escorts." And can you tell I don't like this guy?
But if she was saying stuff like that, they would actually put that on the evidence to like indict him even more.
Yeah, but you say that, but like if they get hold of evidence beforehand, like I've heard of times where prosecution or defence have got hold of certain bits of evidence, they've managed to squash it.
Yeah, you can't always use them.
For
Okay.
whatever reasons, because they can claim that it's like too like misleading or whatever.
Well,
I think
I'm sure that
I'm talking out of my arse here.
I'm sure the defence put
Yeah.
Rachel on, what do they call it? On
the stand.
On the stand.
Did you say they put Rachel on stand?
Rachel's dead.
You know, she's the one who got murdered.
Oh, who's the friend?
I don't know, her friends.
I think they're Bateleys.
What?
The
Bately.
friends, yeah.
He questioned why friend Rachel had been texting would wait outside the Whistle's home. Oh,
And
Thank you. Home all night when they arrived for a dinner party the day after the shootings to find no one home, unless they suspected Rachel was about to do something. So
See, like, that was the question I was asking earlier, that they were waiting all night.
Yeah. Was
When
that not
they-
the night of the dinner party then?
Yeah, that was the night they found Rachel dead. Why were those friends
Yeah,
just
that
waiting
was a
outside
bit
all night?
suspicious.
Well, no, I don't know. If you've been planning a dinner party,
Yeah.
it's planned. If they've just had a baby and they're like in this new home or
The
whatever.
baby was 9 months old. So.
Well, it's relatively new. You know, it's still got that wow new factor. And
It's
everyone's
still-
like, oh,
Apparently
fuck,
they
fucking baby again.
It's still shitting itself.
Yeah. You what? Yeah, no, piss off. Come out and you can do something interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
pissed
big
off.
house, and they were gonna do like this big housewarming party. And
Yeah,
they
just think if
invited
someone
their
like
friends.
like her, if you invited your friends and you suddenly weren't there, but the lights are on.
Yeah,
Not
bringing
all
it back
night,
to what
Yeah, but you don't really care about anyone there.
the fact that she was a very bubbly American, and then her friends probably knew her the way like
Yeah,
she
no,
was
if my
known.
best friend invited me round
Yeah.
for a party and then suddenly wasn't there and I couldn't get hold of her, I'd
Exactly.
be like, right, I'm waiting.
Really?
I also
All
wouldn't
night?
be like, I'm just going to sit in the car and occasionally walk to the petrol station
Yeah.
for a wee. I will be pissing all over your
and then blame it on you because you didn't open the
Yeah,
door.
you'll be at the crime scene. Why would you piss on your dead friend's pants?
But yeah, no, I see why you do. But I'd also be like calling the police.
Yeah.
Even if they said, you can't report them
Yeah.
for 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, all this led to there being no chance of a fair trial. The state wanted to convict Neil no matter what, and everything was steered inexorably
Yes.
to that conclusion. He says that if Neil had carried out the killings and shot 9-month-old Lillian first, then Rachel would have been at him like a lioness protecting her cub, which is a valid point.
Yes.
However,
She was asleep.
if you go bang bang, you haven't even got a chance to respond.
They were obviously asleep together.
Yeah.
So that's why he done it.
If anyone other than Rachel had fired the gun, then Rachel would have been shot first.
Hold on. They also sorry. If he did shoot the baby, where the bullet went past through the baby to Rachel's breast, that must have already crippled her to not being able to fight back to save her or go like a lioness or something.
Yeah. We've also not got to the point where we've clarified what the hell these bullets were. Because they were
I just don't believe the police in anything.
I can show you what the bullets were like.
What, really?
22.
No, I mean, you need to see what the bullet damage does. I mean, he usually leaves a giant hole.
So, in the book, he also says no gunshot residue was found on either Neil, his car, or items he had handled in the house. DNA being found on the gun was because, as the court heard, he had used the exact same gun on a visit to a shooting range at Rachel's family.
I can believe that
earlier.
part, not that it makes him innocent.
No, exactly. An expert should have been produced by the defence at the trial, showing that it was not unusual for someone to have leave the crime scene in the way Neil did.
That's bullshit. If I found you, do you really think I would fly
Hold
off?
on. Like, this is why he explains why that was reasonable for.
Went into shop but booked the one-way flight.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Back.
Once you start entering your credit cards, that's when you
do
start
I use
to...
mine or Rachel's card?
Yeah,
She
exactly.
won't be needing it anymore.
That's funny because what he did was he couldn't extract the money from one card, so he went from one card to another ATM to ATM trying to get the money out.
Oh, he was in shock.
Yeah, so that's what they explained. They have videos in the airport. He had nothing. He just had wallets and carrying nothing. He just left. But it looked like he was just...
I think when you have a father that, gullible or willing to lie for you, it's no wonder...
But it is your father, after all. You're always...
No, but I wouldn't cover for my kid if they did that.
Well, you don't know that, but...
No, I would, trust me. There's certain crimes you don't...
No, because there was a time when you said, if something happened and you were in the wrong, that you would expect me to be on your side.
We're recording this.
Yeah, just like you would be on my side, even if I was wrong.
Yeah, but if you murdered,
Yeah, you would have helped me cover up.
Well, you heard me first, Dan.
Let's murder Lucy. She
This
knows
is-
everything.
You haven't recorded anything.
She knows
Smash the
everything now.
devices.
Delete history.
What he means is, our son went into shock, his mind shut down, and from that point on, a mixture of shock and his love for Rachel, and desire to protect her still being within him, led him to follow a bizarre path of events that made little sense to anyone thinking rationally.
Okay, just let him off.
Like I said earlier, that when I went into shock, but it didn't last that long. I mean, it kind of lasted overnight, but the whole time it was just repeating in my head. But it didn't make me
No, the initial point of shock wears off very quickly.
Okay.
But the initial, I'm frozen, I can't think properly. I mean, I've never killed anyone, but, I've had car accidents and, you get grave news about things and it becomes hazy, but you also remember things very clearly and you go into an automatic mode. But it doesn't carry on for a sustained period of time in which you can go from place to place and then get on a plane and then start looking through the in-flight magazine and wonder what film you're going to watch.
Oh,
It's...
Yeah. So everything he did after the murder, I know the dad's saying that, he went into shock and all that. But the fact that when he was arrested, they found that bag with like him being so ready to sell his story to the highest bidder.
Oh yeah,
That doesn't sound like a shocker or anything. So
no, like far from it.
Yeah.
He's really thinking it through.
And also, I was going to say the fact that he was searching days in advance how to kill.
As for evidence that Neil had searched the laptop for terms, including how to kill... are you literally just reading it right
You're
ahead?
always like literally reading.
I like to be.
You're not allowed to play anymore.
Yeah, you're fired.
Let's kill him. Wait, Google how to stab someone with a wine glass.
You have to break it first.
Okay. As for evidence that Neil had searched the laptop for terms including how to kill with a knife, he said the computer had been widely available when the family was staying with Rachel's family before they moved into their own home, and that everyone knew the password, the name of Rachel and Neil's basset hound. According to him, here's what actually happened. Neil was in the kitchen when he heard a loud bang. He immediately ran upstairs to where he believed Rachel and little Lillian to be, and he arrived at the threshold of the master bedroom just as Rachel turned the gun on herself and fired it a second time. Rachel's eyes met with Neil's just before she pulled the trigger. He saw the light go out of them. The media bias at the time of the story. Just to say that, if that was real and what happened, that's awful.
Yeah.
But what's even worse is that that's clearly not what happened. And you're saying that's what happened. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
There's something extra sick about a man that not only kills his family, but then tries to make his wife out to be the villain in her death.
Well, it's like that other one. Remember recently where he killed his family and kids and put them in the oil tanker.
No, but I have heard about a guy who did that with a woman that he got pregnant in the 70s, and then she his wife almost found out, and then so he put her in a big tanker
This is
thing.
the same.
And then they got found in a house 30 years later, and they hunted her down, and she was from South America, and her mum was still alive and everything, and then she died a week later, which is just horrific. But again, it's these fucking men that go, "Oh, you're inconveniencing me now."
Yeah.
That can be your next one. Not that one, the recent one.
I've just watched
Have you not seen that?
What one?
Which one?
I can't remember his name. It's fucked up. Effed up.
Did you say that?
No fucking swearing on it. What are you talking about?
It's basically the same story you said, but it happened recently in America. He killed the twins and his pregnant wife and then put them in the oil tanker.
And why did he do it?
Because apparently he fell in love with some other woman.
Do you know, I'm not tarnishing all men with the same brush, and I know it's a real minority of cases, but you don't really hear about women doing it. They go, do you know what, I'm really fed up of your shit, I'm leaving, I've met someone else, or, but men just kind of go, oh, I can't be arsed with the paperwork, so I'm just going to kill you all.
In the oil tanker.
It's really weird.
Unless women are very good at attention to detail, so they're doing it better.
Yo! Oh my god! Because we are the superior species. I did not even think of that. Maybe there's just a bunch of women killers out there. The guys are just I'll just stuff you in a tanker.
Yeah.
I just leave.
Yeah.
I leave it by the side.
You know why?
And women are better cleaner too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly
not you. You would be found.
I'm not planning on killing you, so I don't have to be good.
You know why they don't do it? It's because women can't move men's bodies as easily as the men can.
Well, that's what they always say. It's not the killing that's the hard bit. It's the disposing of the body.
How do you know they're not chopping them off and feeding you?
Maybe that's why there's so many women pig farmers.
Oh, are there? I didn't know that.
No, I'm making that up.
Oh, right,
I'm very
okay.
tired.
Okay, I'll just believe you. So also the fact that where he said the search history term, even Rachel had password to it, so she must have searched it because
at one point there, I thought he was going to blame the baby.
No,
the baby's just been googling all over a laptop, twisted 9-month-old. Sorry, takes scary.
Yeah, I have password to his computer or whatever. So I sometimes search.
Those are my dodgy search.
Or his dodgy stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I know, it's there.
What do you mean? What do you search?
What if she did? I mean, it's just a if. I'm not saying it happened for sure. If I'm looking from the father's point of view, he's trying to say that she must have found out what he's up to, how he's conning her and stuff.
Okay,
So
why would the
she
woman
must have-
Google escorts?
No, that was probably his search. It was a mixed up search between his and
But
her.
those searches were over a short period of time.
Yeah.
So, like over a couple of days.
Yeah, so that's when she died, right? So she must have searched to...
So he was searching
Also,
escorts.
they like Google. No, let me Google. No, let me Google.
Oh, I don't know whether it was just in minutes apart. Because
Oh.
the investigators obviously put down, this is what the search history was.
Yeah.
But they didn't obviously put the time between the searches. So it was just what it was found.
Yeah, but what you're
during
saying
history.
is he was Googling escorts and she was Googling how to kill someone.
Yeah, and in between
So
where
He
he...
just wanted to fuck. She just wanted to name.
Typical women.
No, there was search history of him looking for jobs and, how to make
so-
money and stuff like that.
What if
No,
that
I
was
just
her
think
searching? though?
In between the searches, those were the searches that indicted him further. So obviously he's not gonna say, oh, there were this type of searches too, which they didn't have any weight on it. So they're obviously gonna weed it out to make the prosecutors win.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
they're
we know
obviously
he's
gonna-
full of shit, but we
Yeah.
spent 20 minutes discussing his shit.
Yeah.
I know. That's why
Let's
I was
flush it.
actually thinking when we do this, should we start from the father's point of view?
No, because I
But-
would have just fucking...
Yeah.
It's like so annoying trying to rationalise his
Yeah.
father's point. It's not even close. If it was
No.
close, I would understand.
It must be hard for a parent though. Like your
Mm.
denial's a really, really powerful thing. Like if you ever like had something happen to you and you've just seen it one way and then you get enough distance from it and like everything just breaks down from around it and you go, oh shit, actually that wasn't how it was at all.
Mm.
Because denial's a really, really strong
Yeah.
coping mechanism basically.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And it's like a survival, fight or flight kind of thing.
Yeah, but he wrote a whole book on it. It's one thing.
Look, I'm not, he was dedicated to it.
Oh, the book was only released like
A
on
year ago,
2018,
2018, yeah.
a year ago.
Wow.
Okay, so where are we now?
The media bias at the time the story broke influenced minds the world over, he said. It was very one-dimensional, too open and shut, and the legal process proved very unfair. We had to go through Neil living in another country, accused of murdering his family, the media frenzy, the interviews, the police, and the sheer worry. Wait, where was he then?
He was back in England.
So where was his dad?
No, I mean he was in England. The
And where was Neil?
whole trial was going.
He's in
Remember
prison.
he?
Oh, in America, sorry, yeah.
He agreed to be extradited, so he was back in
Sorry, I
America.
was too focused on Neil being an absolute tosser. So.
At one point,
Work
he
out where he
also
was.
said when they were returning after the trial back to England, the mother, father, and the brother in the airplane, like they basically didn't speak to each other. They were like
Right.
just a quiet whole time because they were really in distraught or
Yeah.
just couldn't believe what was going on. So
Yeah.
the whole flight, they just were very quiet.
He says Rachel's family spoke out against Neil in the trial only because they did not want the shame of being labelled as the parents of someone who committed infanticide and the stigma that goes with it.
So
Ooh,
do
that's
you
quite
see
a-
why the friends didn't come forward to?
Yeah.
No.
Because they said that they didn't want to be shamed because the media was already biased of that him definitely killing. So if the friends came out and said, no, she was depressed and all, then they would have like pointed fingers on the friends saying, oh, what kind of friend are they? So I think they were trying to defend themselves. That's what the father is saying.
At no time throughout Neil's case has anyone ever said that they have ever even seen Neil get mad or frustrated, let alone violent.
Yeah, because everyone that's been arrested gets mad and violent.
Exactly. But Cliff says, I will not give up. We will never stop speaking out against the injustices done. We will never stop fighting for justice for our innocent son.
And
I thought you meant end.
can't believe we missed the trick at the start of that.
In the book is also a reproduction of his son's letter to Rachel's parents, which authorities would not let him send.
Mm.
The letter reads,
The following words have been written with love and compassion. They are words of regret and remorse. For over 7 years I have never shared what I saw and what I know of all that transpired on the day we both lost Rachel and Lily, the two most wonderful people ever to bless our lives. At first, my silence was born out of desire to protect Rachel's memory and save you from further hurt. Obviously that did not work, After I was arrested, my silence was prompted by the advice of the lawyers, and so it has been until now. I did not kill Rachel and Lily, but I do carry the guilt and in no way blame Rachel. This is where it is difficult for me to share openly. In order to share all that transpired, it will be necessary to share Rachel's part. Rachel was my wife, and I loved her more than I loved anyone else, even Lily. She could do no wrong in my eyes, so I want you to know. You will hear neither judgment nor accusation in my tone, and I will probably need no more than 15 minutes to share the crux of what is on my heart, though I could speak for hours. I would also like to offer you as much time as you may wish to speak or vent openly. If this is something you want, every time I see you on TV, I yearn to reach out. Whether or not you decide to allow me to share all I know, please know I still love you and pray daily for you to receive the comfort we both need, having lost Rachel and Lily.
That seems quite sincere.
Yeah.
I find it interesting he said he loved her more than the child. Most people don't really admit that, do they? They always say, oh...
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot earlier I should have mentioned that basically what prosecutors are saying is that he went to get the gun to shoot himself, but the house was locked, so he couldn't get in. That's why he left to London, right? They found the key in the car to the stepfather's house, the in-law's house. So if he had the key in the car, then how could he not have gotten in? The fact that he said he went to get the gun, he actually went there to plant the gun, not to get the gun. So that was his cover-up story why he was there and stuff.
Yeah,
so
but I mean...
He didn't connect that the fact that he had the keys, yet he couldn't get in the house to get the gun. So
You don't need Inspector Morse to solve this one.
okay, so here
Mr. Bean.
He automatically appealed his conviction. He did.
Neil after he got
Neil.
and
On appeal, he argued that the searches of the family home were carried out without warrants, and the evidence seized as a result should have been suppressed during the trial. The appeal was rejected in August 2012. The US Supreme Court declined to hear the case in January 2013. Oh, come on, guys. Last sentence.
again.
Has thus exhausted all of his appeals. There's a reason narcissists don't learn from mistakes, and that's because they never get past the first step, which is admitting that they made one. A fucking men to that.
Yeah.
A fucking women.
So basically, he might have said, wrote all those genuine letters and everything, but the fact that he was hiding so many things also kind of makes you not want to believe.
Oh, and also,
everything else.
and also if you're like a proper narcissist and a sociopath, then you're a pro at lying, and lying doesn't matter to you.
Is this where we decide if he's guilty or not?
Guilty. We don't need to. I don't need your opinion, guys. He's guilty.
How effed up is it?
Exactly. Guilty or not guilty?
Yeah, he's guilty.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for the family. You know, the father
Which one?
who's like
I don't.
such a
The dad who's balls deep in denial.
yeah.
I'm more worried about the fact that he's possibly on a council somewhere making decisions about.
I think she means he's.
Oh, can we finally see the pictures you wouldn't let us look at?
Oh, that's the picture of the family. Also, I was gonna say like
shouting at us.
if he-
This is the thing. We printed these off. We look like killers
Oh
now.
man.
yeah. The fact that he is a narcissist who's lying a lot, so he's obviously going to keep trying to keep his image out to portray that he's not guilty. Because I don't think, unless he admits
They
himself.
do look like a proper normal family.
Yeah. And he's not that bad looking either, right? He's quite good looking.
No, wouldn't
No,
go
I
that
wouldn't
far.
go
I mean, maybe I've seen other pictures. But
But
there are some
he's not
pictures.
like, you wouldn't look at him and go, ugh.
No,
Unless
he
it's
doesn't.
like a different taste. My taste is like average looking is attractive to
I
me.
mean, yeah, your taste is acquired.
Thank you for listening. To find out more, go to effed-up-cases.com or follow us on social media.